at Tiger Haven. Somebody got grabbed by one of the tigers. She's injured badly.
Grabbing my hand, he had pulled my arm in to his mouth.
This morning, a Florida zoo is closed after a tiger attacks and kills a veteran zookeeper.
Tigers are natural-born killers. Some trainers feel they form unbreakable bonds with their animals. But at the end of the day, they'll always be predators. Once instinct kicks in, things can turn ugly in seconds. Something 18-year-old Summer Stevens learned the hard way. For a Chinese family, what was supposed to be a fun zoo outing turned into a scene from a horror movie. With their deadly bite, powerful claws, and gravity-defying agility, you'll never see them coming.
They're very stealthy. They're big animals, but they can move almost without making a sound.
How did this teenager's life change after her attack? Why did the internet hold this woman responsible for her mother's death? And what made this tiger turn on its trainer? Tigers kill an average of 56 people annually. Most attacks happen in India due to overlapping human and tiger habitats. Given that Bengal tigers are found in India, they are the deadliest. We spoke to Adam Hart to get his take on tiger behavior. He's an English scientist, professor, and author who specializes in ecology and conservation.
For example, in areas like the Sundarbans in India, there's records of tigers watching people going backwards and forwards. They'll be selecting individuals from a group of people and they'll watch them several days, and you can see the trail that they've left in these areas, and then they will attack.
But what's even more shocking is how many tiger attacks have happened in North America. It should come as no surprise, considering there are around 5,000 tigers in captivity in the US alone. That's more than their population in the wild.
And the biggest problem there is things like habitat loss and human-wildlife conflict. Well, you're not solving that by keeping them.
Our first story shows us how finding love can save you even in the most dangerous situations.
The tiger, he had just my whole arm in his mouth. I could feel the warmth of his stomach almost.
Tiger Haven is a nonprofit big cat sanctuary in Tennessee operating since 1991. It is known for housing lions, tigers, leopards, cougars, and jaguars. The sanctuary doesn't breed animals, but allows cat owners to rehome cats they can no longer care for. Whether they were pets, used in circuses, or part of cub petting operations, like those seen in Tiger King, Tiger Haven provides them with a permanent and secure home. Given the nature of the work-life balance at the facility, employees live on site. Unlike a typical 9-to-5 gig, working there is described as a lifestyle, not just a job. For animal lover Summer Stevens, it was a dream job. She often visited her boyfriend, Gage Gilmore, who worked at the sanctuary. Luckily for her, they were hiring.
I just decided that I'm here, he's out there working, I could be out there with him, with the cats, taking care of them.
Summer had been officially on the job for just 2 months. On January 25th, 2021, her life would change forever.
This body cam footage capturing the moment responding officers arrived on scene. Stevens lying on the ground, her co-workers using a tourniquet to try to stop the bleeding.
Summer was going through her list of duties, which included refilling water for the tigers. That's when her day turned into a living nightmare.
As I was going down the hill in the rainy conditions, I just slipped and fell forward, and I just fell straight into the fence, and the tiger grabbed my hands and just yanked my arm.
With her arms stuck in the jaws of Eeyore the tiger, biting down with a force of more than 1,000 PSI, Summer did the only thing she could.
I just had to scream and just hope someone would hear me.
Luckily, Gage was within earshot and rushed over to help.
Nobody knew what to do. One of the co-workers was putting chicken in the enclosure, which the tiger had no interest in once he had my whole arm in his mouth.
With Eeyore not budging, Gage tried something else to save Summer's life.
He picked up a piece of bamboo off of the ground and put it through the fence into the tiger's throat, which made him gag, which made him let go of me.
Summer was no longer in danger of being eaten alive, but she was still in desperate need of medical attention. Her co-workers used a tourniquet to stop the bleeding while they waited for emergency personnel to arrive. Shortly after, she was transported to the hospital, where she underwent a lengthy surgery on her arm. Summer's life changed once again the next day, but this time, for the better. Her boyfriend Gage proposed to her right there at the hospital.
If I have an arm, if I don't have an arm, he still wants to be with me, he loves me, he's here for me.
Over 2 weeks, Summer had 5 surgeries, including skin grafts to repair her arm. But that's not where this story ends. Immediately after the incident, the sanctuary tried to blame Summer for the attack.
What's troubling to us is Tiger Haven is painting it as if Summer caused these injuries herself by trying to pet one of these tigers.
The owner of Tiger Haven, Mary Lynn Haven, argued that the tiger was friendly and familiar with Summer. Haven claimed that both Summer and Gage bottle-fed Eeyore when he was just a cub.
And just to be clear, this was not a situation where you were walking up and petting the animal.
No, I was definitely not putting my arm in with a tiger.
A GoFundMe was set up for Summer and Gage to help them with medical and living expenses. Doctors expected it to be at least a year before she regained feeling in her arm, and even longer to get back to basic movements.
I'm doing okay. I'm struggling a lot trying to learn how to do things differently.
Reports claim the tiger hadn't been fed in 2 days, which may explain why Eeyore quickly pounced on Summer's arm. Tiger Haven's attorney also requested the investigation to be sealed from the public. Although details of Summer's lawsuit were kept under wraps, our next tiger attack victim had a much more public case. Before we tear into that story, make sure to like and subscribe for more incredible survival stories.
Some unbelievable video this noon from Beijing, China. You can see a tiger snatching a woman who got out of her car in a wildlife park.
The woman attacked and dragged in that video is Zhao Jing. She survived that mauling thanks to her heroic mother. On July 23, 2016, Zhao's husband and mother rushed to help her. Unfortunately, her mother was fatally attacked by another tiger. The safari staff was able to help Zhao and her husband get to safety, but she was still left with injuries that included an 8-inch scar on her face, multiple fractures, and lacerations. She's lucky to be alive. The next day, the park closed, citing heavy rain, but it turns out the authorities told them to shut down. There was no mention of the attack on the park website.
The mother, the daughter, the tiger. Who was the real victim?
Initial reports claimed that Zhao got out of the car because she was arguing with her husband. She denied that, claiming she got out due to car sickness because her husband was an inexperienced driver. After an investigation, the park reopened in August, and the tiger portion followed in November. The park was not held responsible for the mother's death because they had signs at the entrance warning visitors to stay in their cars at all times. They also had everyone in the vehicle sign a waiver with the same warning. Sadly, this isn't the first time someone lost their life to a tiger attack inside the park, with accidents happening in 2009 and 2014. Zhao Jing sued the park for 1.5 million yuan, or $207,000. The majority of the requested payout was to cover her mom's funeral and help her dependents. The rest was to help Zhao cover her surgery and loss of wages due to the injuries. The park argued that it wasn't to blame for the incident and instead blamed her for not obeying its rules. She claimed the park didn't attempt to help her mother and lacked safety measures to ensure the well-being of its visitors. The two sides finally agreed on a settlement of 1.2 million yuan, or $166,000. As scary as the attack itself was, it seems that the aftermath from online trolls did the most damage.
It was quite shocking to see so many people to wish her to die and say that her mother died wrongly and she should have been the one eaten by the tiger.
If you ever visit a zoo or a drive-through animal park, you should always know the dangers. After all, these animals aren't trained. And even when they are trained, instinct can take over at any time.
Gandhi, Gandhi, Gandhi. No, 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 Dad. David.
Vicenta Pages is a fifth-generation circus performer who has worked with tigers since she was 14. When she turned 20, she decided to lead her own show, working alongside her now husband, David Donnert. On October 25, 2016, Pages and Donnert performed at the Pensacola State Fair in Florida. Everything was going as planned. An audience of kids and parents watched in awe as Pages performed tricks with the tiger. That is until Gandhi, the 2-year-old tiger, appeared to turn on his trainer, a risk Pages was always aware of.
You have to always remember what they are, and they are wild animals. You never take the wild out of them, and I trust them to an extent.
As scary as the scene was, Pages wasn't severely injured and was able to walk out of the cage on her own, but she did require surgery on her leg. Ashley Barnes, who was in the audience with her homeschooled group, told a news outlet that Pages tried to get Gandhi to jump hurdles without a meat reward. When he didn't follow the routine, Pages dug her knee into his side to redirect him. That's when the tiger attacked.
Hey. Gandhi, no. Gandhi.
In the video, you can see and hear David repeatedly whipping Gandhi. In total, the tiger was whipped over 30 times. Onlookers were fearful they were about to witness Pages get mauled right before their eyes, but also scared for their own safety. When David went to help his wife, he left the cage door unlocked. At least 3 complaints related to the incident were received by the APHIS organization. Despite this, they found no violations, and an investigator explained minimal force was used. Gandhi was not injured, and the tigers were well trained. Animal activists argued that the trainers downplayed the attack before the video was released and worried about the animals and their living conditions. Pages is lucky she survived her attack. Our next victim suffered a much more grim and painful fate.
Now angered, the animal dragged away Maqsood.
The National Zoological Park in New Delhi, India is home to over 1,300 animals. It has quite a collection, from bears to tigers, snakes to owls, and everything in between. Aside from an incident when a tiger jumped over a 12-foot fence into another enclosure, the zoo's director claimed it was absolutely safe. I mean, he says so. Thankfully, no one was injured in this incident, but it took staff 2 hours to tranquilize the tiger and put her back into a cage. That may have been a sign that the zoo was either understaffed or not equipped to handle unexpected situations. Sadly, on September 23, 2014, a 20-year-old man named Maqsood Khan lost his life after hopping over a fence and falling down a 15-foot moat into a white tiger's enclosure.
In this 2.5-minute video, initially Tiger Vijay appears curious. Then he progressively gets agitated because of the screaming crowd around the enclosure.
Reports claimed Maqsood was a school dropout and factory worker who suffered from mental health issues. Before the attack, a security guard on site reportedly warned him twice about hopping over the fence and leaning over the moat to see the tiger.
I know it's written there, but constantly you need to keep telling your visitors that if you misbehave, you will be kicked out.
After falling over the moat, Maqsood found himself face to face with Vinjay, the tiger. But he wasn't attacked right away. Instead, the tiger approached, more curious than anything. Bystanders tried to help him by calling for security. The first guard to arrive was only equipped with a baton, not a tranquilizer gun, as only doctors are trained to use them. While waiting to be rescued, Maqsood can be seen begging for his life. To scare the tiger off, zoo visitors started to scream at Vinjay, and some even threw rocks and water bottles. Approximately 15 minutes after falling, zoo officials finally got to the enclosure. By then, Maqsood had been killed, with Vinjay dragging his lifeless body away from the crowd. The zoo's director explained, "We do have tranquilizer guns, but by the time we could organize them, he was dead." He also suggested that Maqsood jumped into the moat and didn't accidentally fall. Given the time it took for help to arrive, many questioned whether the zoo had sufficient training and protocols in place. But could Maqsood have done anything to survive this encounter?
Basically, the general advice seems to be to stand your ground. And to make it very obvious that you're not going to be an easy meal, but also try and back away. So don't sort of stare directly at the animal and try and stare it down. Just sort of look towards the ground but move away, but sort of flap and make a bit of noise and make yourself kind of big. Seems to be the general advice, but I think and don't run. That's 100% the wrong thing to do.
Great advice. And like Adam says, maybe don't challenge a tiger to a staring contest. Unfortunately, if you've ever watched Tiger King, you'll know that exotic animal ownership is still a big problem. Some states don't even require exotic animal owners to let their neighbors know they're housing these potentially deadly predators. Can you imagine if they escaped? For the residents of Zanesville, Ohio, this became a terrifying reality.
Need an ambulance on standby. We have got Terry Thompson's bears and lions on the interstate.
We'll uncover exactly how it all went down on another episode of How to Survive.